Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Photographer Life Check. I'm your host, Qurissy, and today I have an incredible photo homie, Taylor Washington. Brr, 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 brr.
Jazz hands.
Welcome, darling. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing so great. And I'm just happy to
Beautiful.
be here.
I'm happy to have you here. I want to start off like we always do with a little photographer fit check. For those who might be tuning in for the first time, photographer fit check is exactly what it sounds like. I like to get into something that we're wearing. So no pressure. No pressure. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to stand up or anything. It could be your top. It could be jewelry. Honestly, it could be
Oh,
your hair. It could be like, I just did this yesterday if that was your vibe. You know what I mean? So photographer fit check, let us know a little something about who you are
goodness.
today.
Okay, I forgot about this part. I've had the craziest, busiest day. I've been in baggy clothes, so I put on blue, and if I'm being all the way honest, decided to wear blue because, like, color theory, I learned that like blue makes you trustworthy.
Come on. Yes. The
And
signals are signaling.
right. I'm like, apparently, like, blue is my color. I love blue. And so I'll go with my hair then. Because yeah, usually I would like have more done, but this is my last day having my hair in these twists, and I'm excited because usually I have to do my baby hairs, but so much hair came out. I'm like, wait, I'm a,
Right. It's just a whole new vibe now.
I'm gonna make a mini bang.
It's cute. Also, blue has been one of my favorite colors. It used to be the favorite color my entire life. It was my first favorite color. I love
Period.
blue. Is that shade of blue your vibe always? Or like what shade
Oh
of blue are you?
man, I love all blues. I had my hair this blue for like 3 years.
I saw some old pictures of you. I don't know if you know, I do research on all of my guests. It's
Crying.
one of my favorite parts about doing the podcast because I just love this image making shit. And I saw this old photo of you with blue hair. I was like gagged. I was like, oh my God, it looks so good on you. I love it.
Oh yeah, girl, I literally forgot. Like, I had friends who didn't know that I had really curly hair because it was
Mm,
fried from just colors. And once I found blue, I was like, oh, it's over. And it was just
one of those
crazy.
eras.
One of those eras. But
I love
tomorrow
that.
I'm getting it dyed like a chestnut red vibe.
Ooh.
Yeah, first time with the color in like 6 years. So I'm like, if I keep putting it in here, I might as well just like do it. So I'm excited.
Exactly. I'm excited for
Yeah,
you. I love a good
thank
hair
you.
era.
Me too.
Photographer fit check for me today. I actually do love this top, but for the second time, I haven't even had my dog a whole year yet, and he's broken my favorite necklace twice. So he broke my favorite
No.
necklace a couple days ago. So I'm wearing a replacement
That's
necklace because necklaces are one of them things. Well, this my favorite necklace is just one of them things that I don't like to take off unless like the fit requires, and even then, I'm just gonna tuck it if I can, and then wear the. You know what I'm saying? So
I know what
he
you're
broke
saying.
the chain part, so I got to get a new chain again. And in the interim, I found this really beautiful necklace, and it's a Q in it, and
Mm.
I'm just obsessed with Q's because obviously
Obviously.
the best
Obviously.
letter in the alphabet. I mean, if we're being completely honest.
Honestly,
So
so unique. Not that many people get to claim Q.
exactly unique, like so I stand. I
Unique.
stand. I got me a little interim necklace for the moment, and I actually really love it.
Oh man, I can't believe I forgot to get on here fly. I'm like the way I be so blinged out.
You do be fitted. I was
I
expecting
fucked
that
up.
thing.
I know I fucked up. When I tell you I've been editing like it's nobody's business. I woke up
Yeah.
at 7:30 today and I was editing. I was like, okay,
Ooh.
final touches, and I'm editing from 8 a.m. till about an hour or so ago, doing
One of
finishing
them
touches.
days.
Yeah, so I was like,
One of them days. I
throw
don't
the blue
blame
on.
you. And that's exactly what I want to get into. But
Oh, man.
before we get into the work, I want to just touch on the photographer life check. For those who don't know, photographer life check is just a literal check in. The reason why I named this podcast that is I want to get into what photographers and image makers are experiencing and feeling right now. So it could be today, it could be in general, but what's your life check?
Oh man, I'm like, I am such a specific person. I'm like, what part of my life am I checking in on? Um,
I can get more
boy,
specific.
get specific. I tend to be great at like multiple choice or like options, but you give me open ended, and I'm like, the Virgo in me
For
is like,
sure.
where are the categories?
Okay, so I kind of feel like with the editing today, you gave us a little glimpse into how that is going. So I'll say, actually, last week's episode with Deshane Marissa, everybody should listen to that episode. It's so good.
We
She
love that.
mentioned someone asked her in a thing like, "What's your internal weather situation?"
Mm,
And I thought that was a really beautiful question. So I
mm.
guess emotionally, life check. What's your weather internal vibe?
Man, oh my gosh. Okay. It's new, so I have to think of like the word for it.
Okay.
Um, this I'm like I've been feeling different than probably ever. Okay, I'll just describe it. Maybe a word will come up, but
Okay.
I have got like one of those whiteboard sticky things on my wall,
Mm-hmm.
and on it I have written create capacity. Um,
Mm,
and I wrote that like I want to say almost 2 months ago, and it's become like this self-fulfilling prophecy of like just like kind of like pushing myself. And so I've had a lot of moments recently where I'm like not feeling great,
mm-hmm.
but that's the word. I've been feeling extremely driven and
Mm-hmm.
like just fed up with my excuses. So just like super driven, super driven. Um and feeling driven and actually acting on that
Mm-hmm.
more than I have in the past consistently
Right.
has like made me feel more confident and what's the word what's the word for like feeling like I've got agency over my life like
Come on. Yes. Autonomy. Yes.
yes, something like that, something in that realm, you know.
I feel that. I can see how all of that connects. I'm almost getting like, it sounded like you were creating capacity to do the work, maybe, but in that same breath, then you created capacity for yourself and like you're feeling very driven and capable and confident. And that's hella tight.
Capable, capable, yeah, just kind of like, it's like I'm 30 now, and I'm like, what? The adulting, I've always like, I'll do like one thing and be like, whew,
Okay.
that was a
Same.
lot. And now I'm like, okay, now do another thing. And
Another thing.
I'm gonna do another thing.
Honestly, that was clearly the vibe today. You've been working since 7 in the morning. I
I know
appreciate you being here. You really created capacity for this. Thank you so much.
I created capacity.
Oh, we can get into the Yerba Mate Chronicles. Oh my
Oh yes.
God.
Oh yes. No.
Bruh.
Oh my gosh. No, it's so necessary. I'm like, all right, I already had a coffee. I can't do a second coffee that's gonna make me feel weird. No.
I feel that. Yeah. If you need to create some capacity, create some capability within you,
I'm like,
honestly, can somebody get Yerba Mate on the line? They should
can
sponsor the
someone
pod because I be giving them a lot
someone call Guayaki right now.
right now.
Right meow.
Damn, that's how you say that? I've been wondering how that's pronounced.
Oh yeah, no,
Guayaki.
Guayaki, yeah, when I was in college, peak crack. I think I drank. There was a point in time where me and my two best friends, there was a 7-Eleven down the street from our college, and we would literally just like every time we'd go, we'd grab multiple. We see each other around campus and just like toss each other one. Like I was drinking like three a day.
I really could have used that in college. I just found them a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
Changed
Welcome.
my life.
Welcome.
Yeah. And I don't drink coffee, which is I think why it changed my life so drastically.
Mm,
I just don't like the taste. It smells so good, but I don't like the taste of coffee, so I can't drink it. But this,
Man,
I be charged. I'm like, I'm getting it done. I
it's
feel
so
like I'm on
important.
Adderall or something. Like I'm getting
Right.
everything done.
Crying. No, I don't even like everyone's like, "Oh, I only like the one flavor." Like I don't post like every little part of my life. I'm not good at that
Yeah.
consistently on my personal account. But when they dropped new flavors recently, I was at the store. I put them side by side and I took
Okay.
a picture, posted it, and I was like, "New flavors dropped, alert."
Ambassador.
Right. I'm like, everybody just needs to know. And like clockwork, people were like, "Thank you. Thank you for your service."
A valid. And honestly, thank you right now because I'm about to go to my 7-Eleven and see what's up. Because I
Yes.
also keep
Yes.
a back stock. But anyway, enough
Hmm.
about Yerba
Hmm.
Mate. They've
Enough.
gotten enough out of us today. My
Right.
God.
I'm gonna tag them at the bottom of this.
Right. Speaking of my research, though, that I mentioned earlier,
Uh,
in getting prepared to talk to you, I knew what I wanted to talk to you about, but I'm like, okay, I need to learn more about your creative journey and I want you to go into it. But I just love learning about how image makers see themselves, how they see the world, and then how that plays into what we end up creating. And I
mhm.
found on Lens Culture a couple years ago, you wrote, "My work is all I know and still a mystery to me," which I found incredibly poetic and very interesting because, oppositely, I think there's this idea or phenomenon that I have always heard about, maybe always, that
Mhm.
we are a mystery to ourselves. So I'm like, of course, like this would make sense. So I'm curious, what is it that you know about your work?
Oh man, would you mind just could you re-quote it? It like cut out right when you were quoting it, so I only heard the second
Mm-hmm.
half of what it was.
Yeah, you said your quote is that my work is all I know and still a mystery to
Mhm.
me.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, yes. What do I know about my work, man? I know that my work is all about people, man. Like I've never been the type of person to be like, I hate people, like I love people.
Mm.
I love
You
people a
do
lot.
seem like a people person, yeah.
I fuck with people for the most part, like I could think about reasons not to. I'm just like, but why would I do that? I don't like it. Doesn't make
Right.
me feel good. So, yeah, it's all I know in terms of like, I first picked up a camera in grade. Eighth
Hmm.
grade, yeah, like summer going into eighth. Like cried after that SD card got lost. Like
Oh,
concert pictures of Akon. Come on.
we've been there. We've all been there.
First cry over pictures. But
Hmm.
yeah, since then I never really stopped shooting.
Hmm.
I would say that there was like maybe 1 year of my life just to like go through some stuff where I wasn't really shooting, but that was like 1 year, like 7 years ago maybe.
Hmm.
So it's really all I know in terms of like I've always been the like let's take a picture friend. Even when that like was not cool and it was
Yeah.
just Facebook. Um, it's just like a way of being. Like if I don't have my like shout out iPhones literally just for the fact that they're basically cameras. I'm
Yeah.
like I if I didn't constantly use it as a camera, I probably wouldn't be so attached to it
That's so
outside of
real.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just true documentarian vibes. So it's like constantly shooting. It's just kind of like a way of being. So I
Hmm.
guess that's what I mean by like it's all that I know, you know.
That's so interesting because how I would describe your work, it's channeling alien superstar. It's a bit
Yes.
fantastical. It's a bit dark though. Like it's not fantastical whimsical. It's like fantastical sexy edgy. So
Period.
I'm gonna pull up your website and Instagram just for a few while we talk about this.
Okay.
You guys can watch this podcast on YouTube and Spotify. I tell you all the time. Tune in. You need to watch.
All
You
the
need to see
time.
this website. So,
I'm like,
Alien
you're really making me
Superstar.
wish that I had updated my website. It hasn't been updated in like a
No,
year, but the Instagram's updated. The
it's
website's been
right.
like a year.
Which don't worry, I peeped. I was like, oh, this is perfect. But I think it lends itself really beautifully to the conversation too, because it showed me the trajectory of your work also, which I thought was really beautiful. So, and I don't know how old any of these photos are, but I feel like there's a clear and evident growth throughout your work. Um,
Hey.
so like I was saying, like it gives Alien Superstar. I feel like I see otherworldliness. But the really cool part about that to me is the fact that you shoot on film a lot. Are you a full time film photographer now, or do you still shoot digitally?
Man, I feel like I feel like I might have shot digital recently.
Hmm.
Uh, it's mostly film these days. It's mostly film. I would say a couple years ago, it was like I've always had, I think since the end of high school, like my
Hmm.
first film camera, just a point and shoot. And so for years and years, I just got used to having a point and shoot on me and just kind of keeping it in my bag. And I would just take a photo here and there and have a surprise roll. Gosh, that photo was COVID. It was 2020. I was so proud of it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
what a
that one has
time.
a special place in my heart. It was like the only good photo I'm proud of from that day. So
That's
love
real.
it. Uh, but yeah, I used to just have film for that. But I would say 3 years ago, I just started shooting things more consistently on it, and I started doing actual shoots on it. Um,
Mm.
and uh, 2 years ago, maybe a little under, around 2 years ago, I learned medium. I started my journey of learning medium format film, and that was like life changing. That was
I
like
feel like you and medium
everything.
just go together real bad. Like
Real bad.
you
Real.
have a
Okay, that's what
way
it is. I shot on
visually.
digital. This is both. This is both.
This okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So this, I think there's only like three of them that are filmed. That one's filmed.
Can you
Um,
talk about the transition for you? Like what sparked it?
mhm.
Um, why specifically medium? And then what is keeping you there now? Like what about it?
What sparked it? A few years ago, I was undergoing this whole, just this phase of just really being like, okay, I like my stuff, but I don't love it. Like I was really like pushing to get better. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just like was very manically looking at other people's work all the time. That's when I started
Mm-hmm.
saving like a lot of different folders. Like I have folders that I'm daily adding to for like lighting, poses, concepts, stuff for like directing, software, gear, like all the things. But I was just starting at that time and I was like, what's the common thread between the photographers where I look at the photo and I'm like, why does it look like why does theirs look so good? And I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't figure it out. And I just started asking people, being like,
Yeah.
I became that person where I'm like, yo, what you shoot this on? And a few times I started hearing back that their stuff was on medium format, and I was like, wow, okay, that was digital. I was like, okay, wow, wow, this is, I'm seeing a thread. And then also, huge, massive, endless shout out to Art House Film Lab, because
True. Gang, gang,
yes,
gang.
gang, gang. I honestly would have had a bigger block to learning medium format if it weren't for Sid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am so endlessly grateful just for his support. I haven't really had anyone else to like kind of like in a tangible way, or at least at that time, help me, especially with anything learning wise. And
Yeah.
he's just kind of like an angel that just like plopped in my life. So when I was really ready, he was there and ready to support me. And yeah, can't thank him enough for that, because I think just like having a lifeline and having like someone to lean on even a little bit, made a huge impact for me, was a huge impact for me. So
Yeah.
I think actually somewhere on this page, it's the one with the booty crack in the front.
On your Instagram?
Yeah, it's on here somewhere. It was one of the first shoots I did on medium format. It's a little farther down, I think.
Okay.
But that, yes, that one
This one?
where you can see, yes. So there's Sid holding the reflector.
The
But
one with the
yeah,
booty crack.
the one with the booty crack. Uh, but yeah, so this was my one of my first times really experimenting with it
Mm,
for a shoot. I think this is my first time using medium format with strobes.
mm-hmm.
'Cause I think I hadn't used it before, but not with strobes, and that's now my like favorite go-to.
Yeah,
If I can
yeah.
have my Godox 8400 and Mamma Mia, they go together like
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, everybody know Photographer Life Check is an art house stand account. Film, I mean, Sid also got me into medium format. So shout out to Sid for that. He has been, I feel like, such a light in the photography community, especially in LA,
yeah,
but honestly, that man's impact is definitely nationwide. And likely
unprecedented.
global. Okay, like the way he has reached out to so many of us and helped us and taught us, and now has an incredible space that you all should be buying your film from.
Yes, 100%.
Shout
Y'all
out
will
to
see me
Sid,
there.
our house.
Shout out to Sid
Okay.
all day, all day.
Period. And you could find literally all of us. Anybody who's ever been on this podcast, we gonna be at our house. Today's episode is brought to you by Art House, the first Black-owned film lab in the city of Los Angeles. All my photography homies love Art House because they specialize in C41, black and white, E6, and ECN2 processing for both 35 millimeter and medium format film, all while using a custom-built cinema scanner to get you those stunning movie quality stills. So go pick up and drop off a roll at their new location in Chinatown and check them out at arthousefilmlab.com or arthousefilmlab on IG and tell them we sent you. But
Seriously.
okay, cool. So you finally take this leap of faith into transition. I completely resonate with that era. I'll stop sharing just for a second. I completely resonate with that era of being like, I want something different, but I don't know how to get there, and like finding the thing and following it, right? What does it look like? Like, how does that change your relationship with your old work?
I was just thinking about this today. Man, my page I've archived so much. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Um, I have archived a lot. It used to be like, y'all go and see everything.
Yeah.
Um, it is not that anymore. Man, my relationship with my old work, I think when I look at it, it reminds me of the headspace I was in at the time
Mm,
and how I felt about that work. Like the the work that I have kept from like way back, like there's stuff on there I think from 2017. Um,
wow. Yeah.
and it's just a few things from back then now, but I look at that point like, all right, I'll keep a few things you can see like kind of like where I came from. But I just see I have a lot of compassion for like my old self that was just like really trying and like I think it's really cute to see like what I thought was like really impressive because at the time I'm like
Yeah.
that was huge where I was like, oh, this is it. I think a lot about my mentality that I've mostly come out of now, which
Hmm.
is I would, especially once I started taking myself more seriously, I would put a lot of effort into shooting something and I would put so much pressure on it to like pop off or perform or be received a
Yeah.
certain way or for me to put it out there a certain way or like like the end goal isn't like posting on Instagram but
Right.
I was like this is the best thing I've made. It this I need to capitalize. I need to figure out how to do something with this and would just put so much pressure that I wouldn't share. I wasn't continuing to shoot. I was just like kind of like stressing. I'm like, why did I shoot this thing like over a year ago? And I'm like
Mm,
stressed over this. So I see a lot of that where I'm like, you thought that was the best you could do.
Okay.
Oh
Yes, give
no.
little Taylor some compassion.
She was trying. She was trying. I'm glad she did because we're here, but like,
Okay. She did incredible work. Okay, so we have this transition, and now we're in this era where we are now, and hopefully in another couple years. Sorry, do you hear that? My dog is so dramatic. I'm gonna wait till
in the
he pass.
distance.
Okay, he be wilding sometimes. But
All
okay,
good.
now we're in this new era. And one thing that I noticed, I think it's also connected to like the otherworldliness that I see in your work that I really love is that even though you're shooting on film, you're also editing on top of it in a way that is still like digital esque. And this is
Yeah.
what I want to bring back up because I would love to know your process and how you're doing this. I mean, I know like you scan images and then you throw them in Photoshop, right? But is it that like your creative process is like this is just what I see, or is it that I want to make film bigger, I want to make it more
Mm,
expansive, like what's your thought process around creating these like film slash digital collage pieces almost?
yeah. Oh man, I feel like I have so much to say about this.
Yay.
Um, yeah, in recently it's been a mix of like my favorite stuff is actually that photo right there, the first one on there. That was
Mm-hmm.
like that from that shoot. That was my first time using like AI generated stuff on my
Mm-hmm.
work. So that was my first experiment with it. Um,
It
and I
went
was like
well. I love
obsessed.
it's just such a perfect and natural kind of like water toss. How do you feel about AI in our work?
Oh, I think it's complicated, it's nuanced, I think it's so ever changing. But for me, oh yeah, those clouds were, I think the second time I look back and I think it's so funny. uh, I just think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think that there's a lot of like not so fun things going on with AI. But at
Mm.
least for me and my work, I am just kind of like I love the old school vibe of shooting with film, but I'm just loving that I can kind of like put out into the world what I'm seeing in my mind, and I guess I'm just very big on possibilities. Um,
Mm.
and I like to explore them. So I've dug myself in a hole because now I have all these possibilities and I can't stop
Yeah.
exploring them. And I'm so fascinated with what if I could do this or that. Like I will get photos back and be like, "Mwah, love it, chef's kiss, no
Hmm.
notes. And then I'll be like, but
But
what
if
if I just holy, oh my God, but what if I do? And then boom, 4 hours, one photo. Um,
literally because you've developed like 17 different versions of the same photo.
oh my
And then you got to
gosh.
decide on which edit is the one that you like the most and that you'll share or put on your website and
Exactly. Oh my
child.
gosh. No, it's a lot. It's a lot. See like AI on that one, her hair
Hmm.
saved her thing. The wind was messing her up in the photo. It was so good. And it
Mm.
just was like, swoop. I was like, thank you.
Yes. And
It's
I love
funny.
this one because we'd never know that for this.
Right, right. I just like it to enhance, like
Yeah.
that, I've been iffy about it. I feel like my website is like me like early AI, and my recent Instagram stuff is more like recent. But it's still good to it's like me even looking back at this, I'm like, okay, like I was learning, but it's still good.
Hmm.
I didn't actually start using Photoshop, this is embarrassing, until less than 2 years ago.
Not embarrassing
Um,
at all. It wasn't part of your
no, I
practice. You didn't need it yet.
me and Lightroom went together real bad. Me and Lightroom Classic.
Okay. And for me,
Man,
still do. I still love Lightroom.
I was retouching. Oh man, yeah, learning retouching, that was a game changer too. Oh my goodness.
That's
But
true.
yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like
especially
I
for a
had
shot like this. I mean. That's so stunning.
Yeah, and I don't think I was using Photoshop then.
Nice.
I still think this was still Lightroom. We actually had like a lighting team for this shoot in particular. It was my first time having someone be like, okay, like how do you want it to look? I was like, you're gonna do it for me.
Amazing. Yes.
I was like, more of this. It hasn't happened since.
Oh my God,
But
that's so
like,
real though.
oh my God, I had on my to-do list for probably a decade, like
Mm,
learn Photoshop, and I never did it. And I think that having ADHD and knowing, okay, there's like 20 ways to do this, and
mm-hmm.
but I still wanted to be like, okay, learn like step one, two, three, and nothing could give me answers. Everyone's like, YouTube University does not work for my brain. Tried it.
That's
It's a,
real.
it's a, I, for the life of me, was just like,
Also,
this is
sometimes you
not
have to be
it.
so specific to find the thing that you're looking for. Sometimes
Yeah,
you spend more time looking for the exact thing you're trying to learn.
literally, exactly. And what saved me, and I'm so grateful, honestly. And I try not to use chat for everything
Yeah.
because the environment, but what I will use it for is being like, I got an error message when I went to press this from that. How do I get around this? Like,
Yeah.
ChatGPT was what allowed me to learn Photoshop because I could just try stuff, mess up,
Oh.
or get stuck, and then be like, what do I do from here?
Oh,
And then I was like,
snap. I
oh,
haven't used it in that way yet. That's tight.
that is my number one way. That's like why, it's one of the main reasons why I started using it. And I think if it weren't for having that, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have ended up going down this specific path. Because it's like, okay, I'm still learning things. Like, I'm not just being like, generate this. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it took me 4 hours to make the tree in this picture come in the way I wanted it to. uh,
Yeah.
like, I think the one I posted today, like, literally that cover photo, I've spent at least, probably total, at least 6 hours on that.
Hold
Just
on. We
that,
have a
just that
post
one.
from today. Let's pull it up.
Let's pull it up.
Ah.
Yeah, those, took me forever. People are like, oh, people just think of it like pressing a button, and I'm like, that's why I took creative director out of my thing. I'm just like world builder. Like, that tree
Mm,
wasn't there. That grass
right,
didn't look like that.
man.
There were no flowers.
Yes. Oh, yeah, and
She is
then
sitting on a
zooming
reflector and
in.
holding grapes. That is all.
Wow, that's really tight. I also appreciate that you're just down to go into like what parts are what because some of these pieces like you wouldn't guess. Like I mean, looking closely at the grapes, it's like, okay, yeah, I know this isn't how grapes grow on trees or whatever. But off rip, this is like, ooh.
Yeah.
Honestly, World Builder I think fits you so perfectly because the idea that your work looks so otherworldly. I do feel like the question I'm asking when I'm looking at your photo is like, okay, what world did I just step into? Like, okay, what's the vibe? And I'm like, I'm
Yes.
waiting for your work to speak to me and like tell me like, okay, this is where we are.
Mm,
Set the scene. Mm. You know?
man, see, I love to hear that. I love to hear that, man. Yeah, like I love these photos so much as they were. I didn't really do nothing
Hmm.
of that one, but like this, it's like, okay, like this was a beautiful photo, but I'm like, but wouldn't it be cooler if there were some clouds? I'm like, what if the clouds were
Yeah.
like pink? You
Yeah.
know, just like being like, what if? And it just takes forever. There's one in here. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna go insane. Sid was like, sit on it, come back. It's it's a go to bed.
It's like,
Let
it's
me see.
chill. Calm down.
Right. I'm like, this branch or this branch, this branch.
But that's the thing about it. Like in editing, we can do that forever.
No, literally forever. I'm like, did I put it
Oh, I
this far
love
back in
that.
the thing? Yeah, that one actually is just like that. I'm obsessed with that one.
Nice.
Um,
That's like practical, which I do find that like you've done some practical stuff
yeah,
on
this is
set.
just
Like you're
kind of
also
like
a set
the
designer.
trajectory. Yes, yeah. I share that. Maybe it skipped over it because it should have been one of the first handful. That's fun. Um,
Okay, let me
I
see.
think when I was transitioning, yeah, I think it was towards the front. when I was transitioning from working on set, just doing a lot of different things, I got into set design, and there it is. Yeah,
This one?
there was just like one tree in the background, and I was like, but yeah, I was like, but what if? And I just did what if for like
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours.
But
um,
it works.
but yeah, the it worked. I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I fuck with it bad. I was gonna try and just do something
Mm-hmm.
simple for once, and I couldn't. Um, but yeah, set design was really fun, and I slowly stopped doing it, and at least I had so many fake plants in my home for so long from doing it, and I still have so many
Mm,
fabrics and stuff I'd like to create, and now it's nice because I can see it as like a base. At least with like editing, it's like if I create a base, I can do something cool from here. um it's just a lot of stuff to hold on to, but yeah, in the
it is
practical,
a
it's like I
lot of
was
stuff to
definitely
hold
doing
on
that
to.
before. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's
This,
fake. This, I'm
honestly,
in
your
K-Town.
set
There's not a lot of
design,
room.
that's so real. Your set design work, when I was going through all of your work, um, that's what really showed me the trajectory of your work. And that I was like, oh, Taylor has always been this. And I'm just seeing the progress of her getting more and more refined. And I love that. I feel like sometimes, which is, there's no wrong way to be on your journey, babes. Be on your journey how you journey. But it's like completely different era, and it feels like it might be
Yeah.
jumping around a little bit. So it was really beautiful to see that. I'm like, oh, you've been here, this is exactly where you live.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about it like that, but you're so right. You're so right. That makes so much sense.
You mentioned earlier that you're a creative director, which I also did find on your website, but that you've been changing this language. And I'm curious about your relationship to being a creative director and a photographer. Um, and I'm interested in learning how those roles like marry when you're building a set, especially particularly in pre-production.
Boy, how those two elements marry a set. That's such a good question. Okay, could you do me a favor? Could you?
Mhm.
I'm like, I think that last part, I'm like, it made it. I think I had an answer, but I was like, marriage.
Just how these two creative aspects of yourself are talking to each other.
Okay, yeah. I think when it comes to, I think like as I've started exploring the possibilities, and I think I started exploring the possibilities because I frequently look at my work and am like, what's missing here?
Mm,
And I think it was more of a storyline. And when I would hear storyline in the past, I thought like in a very like traditional kind of like narrative kind of way where I had to have like a literal story.
yeah.
And so I didn't go too heavy into that, but I started just paying attention to people's work that really piqued my interest and like made me feel something in terms of um, what was being photographed, like having a larger identity.
Mm,
And I wanted more of that in my own stuff. And so, in order to do that, I needed context. So maybe I don't have a whole story, but maybe I just have a character, and building out just an identity for whoever it is that I'm shooting, like whatever kind of energy I'm trying to give off.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's like my old set design stuff. I was not super specific with it. A lot of times the things I create are like very in my head. And shout out everyone who ever just trusted me. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, look, I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna make a vibe, and it's gonna work. Um, and
Yes.
most of the time it did. And now that's more thorough, because I can see. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm seeing in my head. Here's the practical things I need to create a really solid base. And then like I have a vision based off of at least my current abilities for what I can do with that in
Yeah.
post. Um, so it's a lot more like thorough. It's a lot more thorough now. And with experience, just it just opens up more possibilities over and over again. But yeah, I took out the term creative director because I've been seeing a lot on both ends where it's like, who says I can't be a creative director? And then the other
Mm-hmm.
end of things of people who have been in the industry for a really long time who are like, me. Like, I'm saying,
Right.
me. I said, you can't, you
Right.
know, I don't think that a lot of us know um, what that term really means because it means different things in different contexts.
Yeah.
And it's been a conversation that's come up a lot between mostly me and my friends because almost all of my friends are artists or create something of some sort. And it's that transition from I'm a creative and have cool ideas to I am I'm taking an idea, a feeling, a theme, a scheme,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, and I'm helping expand it over whatever it is for someone. It's hard to talk about even because it's like, okay, are we talking about someone's like artist rollout? Are we talking
Right.
about someone's like personal branding? Are we talking about like whatever it is? It goes so many different ways. And so since everyone has a different definition of that, I just took it out because I'm like, at the very least, what I know I'm doing is I'm creating worlds, and I feel like that's something that I'm doing consistently enough to where I feel confident about it. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
people come to me and they're like, oh, I want to, I kind of have this idea, and it's like a seed, and then I'm like, okay,
Mm.
but I'm like, you have this idea, but where, how do you want people to see you? How do you want to feel? Who are you now? Who are you becoming?
Mm-hmm.
What do you care about? Who are you when people aren't looking at you? Like, these are all questions I ask to be like, what kind of world do we want to put together?
Yeah.
So even if world builder is some level of substitute for creative director, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, people get the gist.
Right. You know what I mean. And it's
You know what I
also
mean?
evident within the work. Like you see these worlds.
You see
Come
these
on.
worlds.
This a whole universe on this motherfucking Instagram. Like you see it.
Right, right. I'm like, get into it. Which world? And little
Literally.
portals. Little portals.
That's so romantic. I like that.
I just love the
Um,
idea of a portal.
Me too. I'm glad you mentioned some of the questions you ask people because um I am curious for other photographers because my hope with this podcast is that photographers at all stages can come here and learn something, and that I am also learning something, right? So I'm curious, especially for the people that are like, okay, cool, I know some questions to ask, I can build on this questions list. What else is a part of your pre-production package? Are you creating decks and mood boards? Are you a Pinterest girl? Are you just like, we just need to talk it out? What's your
Hmm.
vibe there?
I think I've started using Freeform a lot. It
Oh, I
just
love
comes with
Freeform.
yeah, I love Freeform. Oh my gosh. I've seen since then. I've been shown there's other really similar programs, but
Hmm.
love Freeform. I'm like, thank you for making this look as easy as possible.
As
Just
simple as possible.
just gonna dump it and organize it. I love that.
Yeah.
So big on Freeform. I am getting over my hump with deck making. I want to be good at deck making so bad, but I haven't
Mm.
made a lot of them. I've only made a few. They're not
I
bad,
feel
but
like
it's not a lot.
that should be such a natural skill for you. You're a world maker. Come on.
I know. You know what it is?
It'd
It's
be
the
like that
fact.
though.
It's the thing I was saying before, where I'm like, I have an idea of it, but
Hmm.
the fullest expression of it, I might not see until I'm already in it.
That's
So a
so
lot of
real.
times,
Yeah.
part of hiring me, unless you have a super specific thing, is you're trusting that I understand how you want to be perceived, and then I'm running with that.
Hmm.
Like most of the stuff I did, like on that last post I shared, um, most of that stuff, like I didn't, none of that was planned. I just shot it
Right.
and then afterwards did that. But yeah, so for that there was very little pre-production. that was the first time we met.
Nice.
And she just very much trusted me. Whereas like the post before that, where the girl Audrey is a lizard,
I'll
caught
pull it back
in
up while you talk about it.
office life. Uh, she called me makeup already done. Photographer had canceled last
Ah,
minute, and I was like, I've already had a day, but I'll pull up. And so that it's like the
wow.
creative direction was done. Well, the concept was there, right? I think one thing that I've encountered in putting together these things is um, how much the editing, because we shot this in her dining room. Um,
Okay.
so the editing plays a huge part in the creative
Yeah.
direction, and kind of can enhance it a lot. So sometimes, like on some posts, you might see me put like concept. Like some people will come with an idea or a concept, and then a lot of the direction that I'm bringing is like, okay, where can we take it from there? You know,
Yeah.
this
So
was
for
heavy on her
example,
though. The mouse, she was actually holding scissors, and there was a
oh,
plushy mouse,
okay.
like a with a little tag on it and everything. She was actually holding a plushy mouse in between those scissors. And I was like, let's make it a
Incredible.
real mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool,
yeah.
cool. That's what I was like. Is this a practical mouse? Like you was about to stress me out. I'm like, oh my God.
No, no, no. It was a little plushy mouse. And like something like this, it's like I took the liberty to to put all those teeth on her. You know, I didn't have to do that. She didn't ask me to do that. So it's
Mm.
just little things where it's like if I'm when I'm changing like the whole environment of it and coming up with my interpretation of it, that alone is like, a big part of like the direction, unless each shot is
Wow.
planned out, whatever, whatever. That's, the nuance of it all. Like the blue pictures, that was some whereas like the blue pictures, the ones on the row below that, we were just on a call for like 2.5 hours and just asking her questions, catching her vibe, and
Yeah.
I think yeah, this was the one that was shot in digital. I shot some on film, but I was like, I just ended up liking the digital more. I think it worked with like the lighting situation that we had.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, she just really heavy trusted me, and I just tried to understand what she wanted, and thankfully it was spot on. So I think that every project is going to be a little bit different. Um, yeah, whereas like for like great example, like the Duckworth thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, that was Elise's. First, it was just like a concept, an idea, and then she built it out a lot more. We were all like kind of asking a lot of questions, and she had a mood board for like the jewelry, for the poses, for all the different things,
Mm-hmm.
and I pulled up and I did the lighting for it and I shot it. But she was pretty hands on with like, okay, put the hand like that, try this. And I'm
Ah,
naturally doing
nice.
that as I shoot. But it was like, okay, this is a situation where it's like you're really in there. And it's like the creative decisions I made were a lot smaller on this because it was really defined ahead of time. Like I decided on like I did the edit behind the head, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like that, it's like it's a cool thing, but it's like I'm not like I directed the light thing. It's
Right.
it's less of a world building thing than a lot of my other work where I'm like, yes, like that's like very much like her creative direction.
But it's so cool because it completely fits in with the rest of your work. It's like a perfect, it just makes sense that you would shoot this. Um, I love that you mentioned this because I also naturally am directing when I'm on set. I think it's a conversation. It's how I approach my work. So it's like I'm gonna ask you to move this, do that, ask you questions to hopefully like get you, or by you I mean the subject, engaged in what I'm trying to get out of this moment. And
Yeah,
it's really interesting working with another creative director because my inclination to be like, oh, can you do this, is kind of like challenged in that moment, because the
yeah,
vision like you mentioned for this is already set. It's like, babes, we've been planning this probably for a month or two. I know what
Right.
I need, but I personally am a type of person that sounds similar to you in that I like to just try shit on the day. Like I want to follow the mood and the moment, and like if something is calling us right now, it's like let's get that. Let's try for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel like what was this? We can just use this shoot as an example. How do you feel it was for you working with a creative director who was like, "We got it."
Well, me and Elise have worked together quite a bit. I'd shot her a few times before this,
Mhm.
and she shot me. So it's like we're close. We're used to working together. And so when she had this
Nice.
idea and presented it to him, and then came to me and was like, "Will you shoot this?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So we kind of already have a flow going. Um, whereas like I'm trying to think like separate because that it feels different when you work with someone semi consistently. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
whereas I can think of my first campaign was for V Beauty Pure, it's just like a nail polish
Mhm.
company, and I actually really like that shoot. I'm like, wait, I'm like, pull it up.
Right? I'm like, let's see. Is it on your website? It might be
It's on my Instagram
faster.
actually. So this, her name is Haley, and she's a
Mhm.
producer. I think she shoots too. I can't remember if she was creative directing and producing. I want to say yes though. And so for this, I had already been in my usual flow of, kind of like directing things as I shoot, and she did allow me that. But I think it was the first time where I had someone be like really hands on with it, and it kind of like threw me off. um,
Mm.
and I think that that was really helpful for me, just like learning to work with other people. Cause like, mind you, this is like my first campaign. I hadn't really been on something like this before. And
Yeah.
her ideas were great. She had really good ideas. But it was really the first time where I was, and not ideas like, oh, she had good ideas. Like, no, she had good ideas that we used and like I followed and we had a dialogue and all of that.
Yeah. This
But yeah, it
isn't
was the
shade,
first time where it was like,
anybody. This
okay,
isn't shade.
yeah, not shade, extremely talented. I'm like, I do not want to say her last name wrong, actually. Yeah, Haley Appel. Yeah, that's her
Mm.
Instagram. But yeah, creative direction and photos, which she has. I at the time clearly did not credit her, which is crazy. But
That's why I pulled it back up. I'm like, oh, maybe we can
right,
just read it.
no,
Oops.
dumb. But so long ago, I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
I think I was just like, putting like the client, like it's for this. I wasn't giving credits or anything. But yeah, that was the first time really having someone kind of like over my shoulder and working really closely with that. And I think that it was challenging, but I think it was also really good for me to have that kind of experience.
Yeah.
Um, and since then, I've gotten really clear when I'm working with other people as to like what the roles are and like how
Yeah.
everyone is feeling about um, like levels of involvement, and especially when it gets into like levels of like ownership over something. Like I
Mhm.
feel like more so nowadays, it's like, okay, we are clarifying, like, are we co-creative directing this, or is this your thing,
Right.
or is it my thing? Like, what are we doing here? Just so that there's no misunderstandings, because otherwise it can get unnecessarily messy. Because at the end of the day, everyone just wants to make cool shit,
At the end of the day,
um,
we want to make
and
cool
everyone's
shit
really
and
proud
have
of
a
their
good time
stuff.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's proud of themselves. Like no one's trying to. At least for me, I don't see it as like no one's trying to cheat nobody out of anything else. Like
Right.
every we're trying to have everybody win. We're trying to have everybody win. And so I think that just learning to work with people in a way where it's like I'm respecting you, you're respecting me, I'm respecting myself, like, and that just it just requires like a lot of communication. And so like it's funny how like being a portrait photographer at least is like so much on um just how you present in terms of like, just like your relation to other people.
Yeah.
It's a really nuanced thing to navigate, but I think I have like fun with it because I'm always learning something new in that regard.
It's interesting that you say that because you do so many different styles of photography. Like also, I mean, you're also a set designer and a world builder, but the different styles you can accomplish is really incredible, which makes me think of the event photography you do for Black Market Flea, which your photography and Zay Monet's photography for Black Market Flea are two of my faves, and shout out
Shout
to the
out Zay.
girls. Okay, shout out to Zay for that. Um, so I'm curious, it does it feel different for you when you're doing different types of work, the way that you approach the work?
Hmm. And I at least for event photography, especially for the flea, I have so much fun. Like it's a new character that I kind of get to tap into.
Ooh,
Yeah, I only do my best. I do my best work at the flea when I'm genuinely in like a flow state. Because you have to think for something like that when I'm shooting the whole thing on film, like my job, a big part of my job is just to just watch, you
yeah,
know, to constantly be looking. And it's just me in people's faces like crazy. Like I am going dry in the mouth with how I'm
man.
interacting with people. You know, there is no room for like, hi, I'm like, yo, you look so hot. Oh my
Right.
gosh, do this for me. Great. Hold that. Three, two, one. You're the best. All right.
Do you
Oh,
ever
it's
do you
kind of
do that
obnoxious.
thing where it's like, oh, let me get your Instagram so I can share them to you? Or because of the style of event this is, are you just like, y'all gonna see these photos once they post it type shit?
No. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna show you what I do. It's so crazy. I do
Yes, put
the
us
most
on.
insane thing. Where is how do you change it? Don't be old right now. Come on. You got this. Don't be old.
While
It's
she's looking for that, these photos are all from Black Market Flea.
yeah.
And that's why I pulled them up while she was talking about it because as now y'all can see why Taylor and Zay, who y'all will see on the podcast very soon, um, they cover this event so beautifully. I mean, it's stunning work.
Thank you so much.
Mm,
Yeah, I love shooting for the fleet. This is what I do. This is really douchey, but I think it's effective. I have a
okay.
QR code and
Oh yeah.
I make it my phone screen background one I can switch between so that when I'm out, my whole thing is like, scan this, send me a DM of what you're wearing, and later when I have these photos finalized, I will send your photo to you. Um, do not get paid to do that. No one's asking me to do that, but I do
Yeah.
not like the idea of someone wanting their photo and just being like,
And can't find it.
maybe, hopefully, figure it
Yeah.
out. Or people will DM me like, hey, it's me.
Yeah. I've gotten
And
the
I'm like,
DMs before.
do you know how many people I just met?
Right. Can do you mind sharing that app that helped you make that so folks can make their own QR codes?
Oh, it wasn't an app. I literally Googled something like make QR code.
Oh,
I
okay.
did that. It was like a QR code generator. And I think it was like you had to pay a price to download it. I just screen grabbed it and then put it on top of a pretty background and
Period.
I made that a what? Super easy.
There we go.
Super easy, but
So,
it's really helpful because I'm like, you can't hear at events. So trying to spell
yeah.
out my username or grab people's phone, it's just like, boop, DM me, we're done.
Yeah. I appreciate that too. I always put like any gems folks drop during the episode, I put it in the description box and show notes so that,
Period.
people get put on and hopefully sooner rather than later.
Super
But speaking
helpful.
of events, one of the hardest photos in your archive. My goodness, I love this photo so bad. And of the
Oh,
legend, George Clinton. At an event like this, where this is a lot more specific,
hmm
what is your freedom like? are you the photographer at this shoot? So you can be like, hey, can you sit right here, Mr. Clinton, real quick? Okay. Like, what's the vibe here?
Yeah, this if there was another, I think there was another, I know there was a videographer. I
Hmm.
I apologize. I do not remember if there was another photographer. I want to say no. But this was crazy because I was actually hired for this from photos that I thought were terrible, and someone
When that happens.
right. It was a job. I fumbled it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is why I reached out to you." And I was like, "Don't."
Wow.
Whoa, I didn't think that though. That's awesome. So yeah, this was, yeah, 120 and 35, and yeah, it was just me floating. I was told to capture the event, and to the main thing was like those seated photos with the star.
Hmm.
But they were really relying on me for being like, okay, how else can we capture the family? Because I took pictures of the family, like him and his wife and the immediate children and the grandkids and the aunts and uncles and the family friends, like all on film in that living
Yeah.
room. But this, I'm like, if I remember correctly, I feel like they just kind of deferred to me for it, and it's a lot on just trusting your vision. Because it's like a split second decision. It's like, okay, we're rallying the entire family and friends in the back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Right.
time it with him smoking this thing and make sure I got my strobe right, and I got a million people looking at me behind me, and I'm just kind of like,
Right.
yep, okay, can everyone hear me? Okay, one, two, three. Yeah, that was really fun. Everyone there was really, really kind.
It feels like so much to manage. I personally, I'm just really particular about which events to cover, but it's just not my judge. I I think I like people, but I
You
don't
say that with
know.
a huge question
You
mark.
know, because I was thinking about how we're like, you're a people person, and I definitely get that vibe. And I think I'm a friendly person, but I don't think I'm necessarily
Yeah,
a people person. And so
I
in
see.
events, especially something like Black Market Flea, like I would be so overwhelmed there. And then
Hmm.
because I'm overwhelmed, now it's like, oh fuck, I'm hot, and oh my god, I'm sweating, and this is
Oh
becoming heavy.
yeah. No,
Like
I
the
I had
spiral
one.
happens.
I spiraled real bad one time, and it was my worst pictures I ever took there.
And right
I
when
still
that
over
happens,
delivered like usual, but I was
mhm,
like, I had a really traumatic morning, and now I am like, I couldn't get in that
I'm out
flow
of
state.
whack.
It
Right.
was so hard. It was like I had never shot an
Shot
event
before,
before.
bro.
I was
And
like,
there's specific type of events that I feel like I can manage. But I bring that up because I think from the work that you do share, it seems like you have such a good flow in all of these different lanes. And I'm
hmm.
also curious, like, is it in part outside of obviously the talent? Is it in part that you like working with someone and finding a flow state too? And I ask that because I noticed that you work with Nana a lot, who is an incredible
Mm.
producer that all of y'all should be hiring. Um,
Yes,
do
yes.
you have this like dynamic duo going on, or like what kind of other things are you riding on?
Um, Man, I got lost in your question a little bit, but shout out Nana, because
Shout out Nana.
Nana is an answer to in my prayers. We have cried together about
Yes.
just how we met from both PAing on like a Verizon job years ago, and
Hmm.
slowly started working together. But I literally, I, I don't have enough words for how grateful I am that she has supported me in the way she has. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I don't have enough words. Truly answered a prayer. All around amazing human being, and taking her with me everywhere I go.
I
So
know
yeah.
that's right. We love you,
Oh,
Nana.
we love you, Nana. Yeah,
But to
she's
get you
she's
back to
wonderful.
the question, because I know you said you got lost in the question.
Yeah.
Just in that the way you're transitioning in these different styles of photography, is it in
Hmm.
part because you get to work with somebody like Nana, or maybe other people you might have as your producer or your PA or CD?
Yeah, just having more of a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think it depends on the thing. I definitely have like a solid pros and cons list too. Like the ones we were talking about that I posted earlier. It's like that was just me and her.
Mm-hmm.
We just went out into nature, just me, I'm a Mia, my strobe, and my other camera, whatever. And like my whole cart of stuff that I was like
Right.
lugging all over these hills. That was a whole workout. Sometimes, right, just like picks up, put them on there.
Right.
Um, Sometimes it's perfect where it's like, hey, this is just going to be me and you. But I do think that having more hands on deck has allowed me to do what I do better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like just expressing gratitude for the support I have has been bringing me more of it instead of just lamenting and being like it's all on my own.
There you go.
I've,
Come on,
I've been
rely on
receiving
that
more support.
community. Yes.
Right. Oh my gosh, like I'm so grateful. Even even just a team in so many ways is so much better. And every time I have a team, I'm like, whoa, this turned out way better than it could have been. But then there's other stuff where it's like this couldn't have been what it was if there were more people here because this
Mm-hmm.
was like an exchange. This was like a moment me
Yeah.
and you were having. So I think it just depends. And I think the more that I continue to have both, like if I have too many team stuff, I start to be like, oh, just want to shoot. Just let me go out there with my
Yeah,
camera.
yeah.
And then when it's just me, I'm like, oh, ew, this would look so much better if I had someone to hold the light over there and to hand me this thing and to,
Right. I swear I completely resonate with it.
yeah, there's, it's never just, at least with me, it's never just one way. There's so many like pros and cons to so many different kinds of things.
Yeah. This feels like a really good place to take a break. So we'll be right back. And we're back. This next segment is one of my favorites. It's called Photographs Not Taken. And
Ooh.
it's based on this idea, which is also in this book with the same title,
Ooh.
Photographs Not Taken. Um, this guy asked a bunch of photographers, what's your favorite photograph that you never took? And got all of these different things. And I love that because it's a thing that I think about all the time. I have photographs in my mind that I did not take for whatever reason that just will not leave me.
Hmm.
And I love talking about this with other people. So I wanted to make this a segment. So I'm very
Hmm.
curious, Taylor, what's your favorite photograph that you have not taken?
Gosh, this is so good. Wait, can I reference? Let me see. Okay. I'm like,
We love a reference. Yes, 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 yes.
I when I have ideas and I just like, because I've learned they're so valuable, and if you don't act on your idea, the idea will go away and become someone
Mm-hmm.
else's idea. And then I'm
Yes,
like, shit, that
I
was my
believe in that.
idea. Right. Oh man. So I'll sketch them out in this, which I use purely for this is just for to-do lists. That's
Okay.
all this is for. I know that I really want to take pictures of people on a horse, and that's been on my list for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Long time. If you got a horse, hit me up. I know I need to reach out to the Compton Cowboys and be like, please,
Yeah. Or Adam.
or Adam.
Mm-hmm.
You're in
Adam
LA though?
Davis.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like he probably know everybody with a horse at this point. So he might could be like, oh yeah, my homie has a horse in LA. You know?
that is an
Shout out to
avenue.
Adam.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so smart. Okay, I'm like going crazy back and I found the page and then I lost it. I can't say it's my favorite photograph not taken, but I sketched. Okay, yes, here it is. Yeah. I'll just say my most recent idea that I wrote down that I'm like I'd like to shoot this.
Okay.
It's something more of a visualizer because I've been trying to not psych myself out about the idea of doing visualizers because they sound really fun. Just short video moments that
Yeah.
just feel like a moving picture. Um, and just listening to just like my journey with like being a multi hyphenate,
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that so many creatives, in general, and creatives I know, friends, are like, I do all these things. How am I supposed to just pick one? So I
Right.
had this, the typical. I pictured someone juggling just like all
Mm-hmm.
of their different interests, but kind of like octopus arms. Like if I could figure out a way to have someone with like 8 arms
Mm.
all holding like the thing that they do to different respects and like have them all be
Mm-hmm.
moving at the same time. Um, just to show like the juggling of that. Because I put away a lot of my interests for a while so that I could go farther faster with
Mm-hmm.
photography. But it's like I'm still a multi hyphenate creative at the end of the day. Like the coolest stuff I've made is physical and I don't own it because I give them away as gifts.
Which I did learn you are also a painter.
Oh yeah.
And I'm imagining that's probably one of the things that did you put that on the back burner for a minute for photography?
Big time, yeah, big time. I love painting. I've always painted, but I did have like a hustle moment with painting where I was like
Mm-hmm.
using it to have enough money to like survive and like
Yeah.
get around before I had my footing here. So that was like a real hustle that actually worked. It was kind of crazy. But
Nice.
outside of that, it's painting was always something where it's like if I don't have the words, I can just paint, and it's easier since I'm an abstract painter. Anyways, I've never like painted a face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like I love it. I'm returning to it. I'm allowing myself to return to it, and it will be seen less as a distraction and more of just like I'm just doing this because I like it, and it's not like I need to monetize this.
Yeah.
I just have my page for it. If you want to buy a thing, if you want to commission me, dope. But like, no big deal if not.
There you go. I appreciate that. I feel like I speak to so many multi hyphenate creatives, and we do get stuck in that point where it's like, I feel like I have to choose right now, and that fucking sucks.
Yes,
So I like that you're building a new relationship with it and changing that relationship, which is like, I don't have to choose, I can do it. And in fact, I hope you do reach out. Let me put that actually in the show notes. Do you want to give us your like artist page or name so people can
yeah. It's
find
just
you?
Whaler.art.
Whaler.art.
Yeah, keep it all in the same world.
Is Taylor Whaler a nickname? Like that was given to
Uh,
you by somebody?
well, in high school, there was this girl who like mockingly called me Tay Tay Wash. So that's why my personal page is that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was like, I'm gonna make it my username. But
Cute.
that was in like 2016 when I started my personal 26 no 2012 when I
Mm-hmm.
started my personal Instagram. But then Whaler, and this is embarrassing, but it used to be Whaler.Toshington.
I see.
uh, and I really was like asking people, I was like, is this stupid? And people let me do it. And I'm like, I can't believe y'all let me do that.
That was an era. We needed her to get to today.
And even just keeping Whaler, I'm like, look, people, I am unknown enough. I've got like less than 1,000 followers. Like, can someone give me a better name? And no one, people were like, I like Whaler. And I'm like, all right,
I
cool.
like Whaler, but I definitely thought it was like a cute little nickname somebody must have given you because like Taylor Whaler. I don't know. That's
Well,
what
it's
I
just
was
like
at.
when you're looking up, like when I was trying to think of like, oh, what do I, because I used to be like back in high school when I was taking
Mm-hmm.
like senior photos, families, babies, like doing all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff and then just shooting every weekend with my friends. I was captured photography then.
Oh,
Um,
we all
yeah.
had like a captured by
Hmm.
phase, and
Oh,
oh my
yes. I
goodness,
had the business cards.
yes, it's a part of the journey. But my God,
Yes, yes, no, it is so part of the journey. Oh my God. Yeah, I was captured photography. I used to watermark all my shit.
bruh, oh my goodness, I was playing around with captured by Q for a
Oh, that's
moment.
cute.
I thought it was cute because I mean we all love a little alliteration. You know what I'm saying? Like it worked, but I'm so happy I didn't actually commit to that.
It's
It's
not
just
always a long-term solution.
yeah, it's just a little cheesy, but it's a part of the
It's
beginning
hard.
stages, you know.
You
We
gotta,
gotta
you
go
gotta, you
through
gotta
it.
try. You gotta
You
just
gotta go
try.
through it.
So yeah, I was fucking. What was I even saying? Remembering captured photography. What was I before
I'm sorry,
that?
I don't know. But you were talking about the beginning of your career, and that's what you were going by at the
Things
time.
just roll
But
over.
it was
Oh,
related
right.
to your
Because you were asking
name.
me about where. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just because I was like, oh, I want something with my name instead of like another thing like captured
Right.
photography. And I was like, what? I was like, Washington makes my name too long. And when you Google Taylor Washington, there's like football players or something.
Right.
It'll be like sportsmen.
Literally, yeah, yeah.
So I was like, how can I just like, and I just was like, well, Whaler feels like the least cringy one. And it was still cringy, but it
And
was at
unique
least
enough.
memorable, you
Yeah,
know?
it's unique, and especially for like SEO, like there's probably hella Taylor Washingtons, but not that many Whalers.
Some people think it's my name. So
On the gear don't matter, but you
oh,
did mention some gear at the top. Can
hmm.
you shout out some of your favorite pieces of gear that you use? It doesn't have to be a camera. It's okay if it is.
So my baby,
Yes.
but got the art house sticker on
Gotta keep
top.
the art house sticker.
You know, this is the so I shoot with like where is it? I don't know where it is. I typically have a 60 millimeter lens on this, which I only got because when I bought the camera, I did not know that there was a difference with medium
Um,
format to 35. So I was like,
yeah.
60, huh? I was like, it's the cheapest. And it seems to be really close to 50. Like, must be. So it's really
Yeah.
wide, but I'm obsessed and I'm so glad I used that. But then later down the
Yes.
line, I got this, which makes this thing like a Canon. This is a 100 millimeter. Um, and so basically a close up 50, but I'm obsessed with this mini, and if anything ever happens to it, I'll cry. I already lost the silver slide though. It held on for a
Oh
while.
damn. Oh
Yeah.
my god, you are out here being brave. What do you
Oh
use
yeah, but I'm not
instead?
nothing. I'm not doing double exposures,
Okay.
and I'm not like I don't be twisting my thing too
Oh, okay.
much.
For sure, for sure, for
So
sure.
okay, I'm on
It's
9%. I
chill.
gotta plug this up in a second. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that is the main thing.
Yeah.
Um, I've got Oh my God, I've got a lot of lenses for digital, but I would say like my 17 to 40 has served me the most. It's kind of extremely messed up. I'm like,
She oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We put her to use. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, so you can see it's a little
Yeah.
pushed
Damn,
back,
that's crazy.
but she
But
has been everywhere.
clearly she put in that work for you.
She be putting in the work. I love her. Shout out the light that is making it seem like it's daylight in here. Because without this light, we're here.
Look at that. Come on. Yeah, shout out to
Right.
the light tech. Come on. She
Yes.
never stops working. Look at Taylor
The
Rock.
I'm like, I'm gonna show you this because literally the most photographer coded thing ever I do is the fact that I keep my nan light.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I use it as my bedroom light.
Of course you do.
But like, look at this even tone.
Honestly, it's hella even. And on some real shit, like it kind of gives like the industrial vibe, industrial interior decor kind of vibe. It's
For my
practical, it's
bedroom.
art, you
Right.
know?
It's
Mm,
extremely practical because the sun doesn't hit my room. It's really bright in the mornings over here, but it's not
mm,
like it's like hurt my eyes bright instead of like diffused bright. So I put it
mm-hmm.
on to be like, we're awake, we're here, or like I need to see
Nice.
my outfit really clearly. I don't have time for all my moody lighting right now. Like, or I
Yeah.
need to lock in. I need to feel awake. So I love my nan light, and I have it's the Forza 150. So it's not like one of their super more expensive ones. Like 150 isn't like the strongest thing ever, but
Right.
it really gets the job done. And I got at the time a projector attachment
Mm-hmm.
for it. Awesome investment. 10 out of 10 recommend. Like the two of
Mm.
those together aren't going to break the bank. Like they've done it because this is obviously just like continuous bright, but with the projector attachment, I'm making circles, I'm making squares, it's going
Yeah.
from a distance. It's awesome. It is stuck on this stand, however, for the past couple years. I can't get it off.
Years. Oh.
It is on this stand. It is, when I tell you, Chrissy, when I tell you, oh, this is,
Oh, it
once it
is
went on this
in
stand,
there.
we've taken a hammer. We've taken a hammer to this, and it has not come off. So I was like, you know what? Bedroom light. Yeah.
I'm not mad at that, honestly. I've definitely had those moments where I'm like, "Oh, it's getting scary. This light won't come off." But
Yeah.
that
Thankfully, it
a
was my stand.
hammer?
So
Thankful.
we've I've broken this apart. Like it won't come off. My friend who is like done construction things, like worked in a wood shop, couldn't get it off.
Mm,
Like
shit.
it fit and it's sat like so, but it's fine. It
Yeah.
works. I still
Shout out
take
to
it
the
to
nan
shoots.
light.
I take it to shoots connected.
Exactly. It's a 2 for 1.
It's ready to go.
She don't need nothing
She,
else.
she's ready. This flimsy ass stand, I'm like, you have the stand like rattles.
Oh my god. Once the
But
stand is
yeah,
done, but we don't have to think about that.
yeah. And I think the last thing is just my Go Dogs. So yeah, light wise, nan light, and then for continuous projector to make it cool, Go Docs in as many situations as I can because I just love it so much.
Yeah,
Although it is heavy, which is why Nena helps so much, at least for like fleet things, because
that's true.
film loves light. It gets dark. What you gonna do? So that has been awesome. Like that dancing photo you showed earlier. I'm in the
Mhm.
crowd. I'm in the crowd on the ground with my like 60 millimeter doing the thing, and I'm like, Nena and I are just like eye contact now. We're
Which is
like,
crazy. The fact that you shoot that on 120. I mean, the camera is heavy. And I didn't know
I'm
that
like,
then I was like holding your lights with you too
oh yeah,
for
no,
the event.
that's what I need. Like first half, I'm like, it's nice to have her around because we have such a flow.
Yeah.
And many times I'm mobbing with like four cameras. Um,
Yeah.
so it's just like a lot to juggle, a lot to manage. I'm interacting with a lot of people, but where I'm like, I need you is uh, once it starts to get darker, once it's like, I could get this shot, but it's a maybe because of the lighting. You don't always have control in that moment.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not metering, I'm like using whatever in my head, but
Yeah.
she is there with the strobe and I'm dialing it in. Okay. Having her be there to hold my light for me is like was really a game changer. So it's like I can do it on my own, but with film it's really really tricky. So I know I'm just really lucky to have someone like that who flows well with me.
Yeah.
But it ended up being mutually beneficial, just in terms of like you can't be that socially anxious and do what I do for event stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't really consider myself an event photographer or like identify that way. But
Yeah.
for I did have a phase where I was shooting like a lot of them, and it's like whatever social anxiety you did have, like I'll be like, damn, I really don't want to invade their space. Oof, like I should just leave them alone. And I'm like, you're literally getting paid to be here and to invade their space. And I'm like, guess I gotta go invade their space.
Right. You gotta go get the shot.
I'm like, it's not a
That's so
choice.
real. Right. Okay. And the last segment I have for you is called Shoot Your Shot. This
Ooh,
segment, I would love if you could name somebody or a company that you'd love to photograph for.
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to be more prepared for this. Um, like I'm like, I swear I know I have like a list somewhere with the answer to
Of
this question.
course. Of
Um,
course.
oh, okay. It's not like a specific thing, but I would love to make perfume ads because I feel like
Ooh.
the whole like otherworldly vibe, like the whole thing with perfume
Mhm.
is that you're just advertising a feeling. So
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see a whole concept of all these different worlds you could create for like
Exactly.
a couple new scents like launch type of thing. So
Mhm.
are you scent
Mhm.
brands, you know who you are.
I like to smell
Get on
good.
Taylor line.
Get on my line. I'm like, I have
Yo.
literally like 20 cents. I like to smell good. I'll be layering them.
Yes. I
You
love
watch me
this. This is
panic
so
if I
beautiful.
haven't. Yeah.
Taylor, thank you so, so much for today. This was a beautiful conversation. Can you please let the people know where you would like to be found, darling?
Yes. Feel free to email me, whalerphoto@gmail. Send me a DM. Send me a follow-up email and DM if I don't get back to you. Please. Following up is a love language. I be juggling things. Remind me that you did that.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
so
email,
real.
DM is fine. Yeah, totally. Honestly, when people follow up with me, I'm like, thank you for believing in me that I would get back to you.
That's so true. You can find Photographer Life Check anywhere you get your podcast. You can watch us on Spotify or YouTube, or just listen on Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, all of the girls. You know where we at.
Period.
And we'll see you next time. Have a good shoot,
Thank
baby.
you so much for having me.